Recorded Books and One Click Digital present Writing for the Flag by Jim R. Woolard. Narrated by James Jenner. Chapter 1. Dismounted and afoot, they crept from the darkness, the barrels of their weapons glinting in the pale light of the late September moon. Hardly breathing, Jarrod Bell studied them through the cracked door of the horse barn. His uncle's prediction had come true. Captain Hunt Baldwin and his volunteer Yankee cavalrymen were honoring their dire threats. They weren't suffering another public insult from the acid tongue of pro-slaver Temple Bell, not without treating him to a loss he'd regret forever. What Captain Baldwin and his night-stalking cavalrymen sought filled the stables of the barn and the paddock behind it. Temple Bell's stock of Denmark thoroughbreds was the envy of every horseman within 100 miles. And the burgeoning conflict between rebel and blue-belly armies made them easy prey as spoils of war. The night stalker's boldness shocked Jarrod Bell. They were intending to make off with marked and registered animals belonging to a highly respected Scott County, Kentucky horse breeder. It made him shudder that with the coming of the war, nothing would ever be the same again. Decades of respected and trusted laws were being cast aside like winged seeds dispersed by the wind. Straw rustled, and Judah felt the heat of Asa Barefoot's body. Old Asa, half black and half Cherokee by blood and solid as seasoned wood, was always nearby, watching over Temple Bell's favorite nephew. Like Judah, he held a Navy Colt revolver and was fully alert, though it was their fourth straight night on watch. Asa Barefoot was without a doubt the only mixed-blood slave in Kentucky whose white master trusted with a gun. And he was an excellent marksman. Keenly aware that others might be approaching from outside his range of sight, Judah counted 6 shadowy forms in the wan light. He rightfully feared bloodshed. Rifle at the ready, his uncle was stationed in a blackened second-story window of his frame home, a structure sitting to the north of the barn at right angles. Hunt Baldwin and intruders had no clue they were sneaking into a potentially lethal crossfire, and Temple Bell wouldn't hesitate to pull the trigger, if necessary, to protect his prized possessions. Judah wiped the sweaty palm of his shooting hand on his trousers, waiting for his uncle to challenge the would-be thieves. When it came, Temple Bell's shout carried far beyond the barnyard. "Take another step, and one of you is a dead Yankee. You have them in your sights, nephew?" Judah's hasty response from the front of the barn was equally loud. "Yes, sir." Heads turning toward the unlit house, the shadowy figures halted in unison, their chance of surprising their victims evaporating in less time than a spitting of tobacco required. Judah stared at those he could make out, wondering which one would be the first to move or break the overwhelming silence. The thickest of them spoke. Undeniably, the gruff, throaty voice of Captain Hunt Baldwin. "There's too many of us, you secesh-loving son of a bitch. You might kill some of us, but you can't kill the 8 of us. Not before we have a go at you and your family." Judah winced when his uncle let his temper get the best of him and further pinpoint his position. "You're a bunch of shit-sucking Yankees, Baldwin, attacking at night like your kind always does." Any prospect of avoiding the shedding of blood vanished in a moment of outright madness, spawned by the long-standing feud that had solidified a hate between Temple Bell and Hunt Baldwin that made backing down a fate worse than death. Eschewing good sense at the risk of his life, Hunt Baldwin screamed, "Shoot the secesh bastard!"
Sample complete. Ready to continue?